It was good. So basically, the question is, can the Detroit Pistons make some noise this year? And by make some noise, I mean, at least get to the playoffs. Because last year, they didn't do too hot. Reggie Jackson got injured, partially through the year. They recently fired Stan Van Gundy, with the arrival of, Coach of the Year, Dwane Casey. This is going to be interesting because, he's going to be the perfect guy to kind of snap Detroit in the playoff shape. That's basically their hopes. He recently, Andre Drummond, he's been training this summer, working on his three-point shooting. Personally, I was thinking this motherfucker needs to get to the basics, get the basics first done. Got to work on the free throws. He did have a huge improvement last season from 38.5 or 38% the year before to 60% this year, and he averaged about 15 points per game and 16 rebounds per game. However, his field goal percentage was a little trash, man, considering his the fact that he's a center. And he's competing with guys like DeAndre Jordan, shooting about 60%. He needs to be shooting, 55 and up. His 53% field goal percentage is a little low. And, Dwane Casey, he agrees with me because, he stated recently, he said, taking threes is the carrot. That's the key. And later on, he says, not losing his inside presence, his protecting the rim, his guarding the lane, getting back in transition, running the floor, all those things. Those are your job. That's basically what Dwane Casey was saying about Drummond because, he hit it right on the money, all right? Detroit does not need Drummond out there shooting threes like he's Steph, all right, or trying to be like DeMarcus Cousins. They need that motherfucker down there banging low, let me rephrase that. Banging down low. That still don't sound right. Banging down low with the big boys. And working on his mid-range jumper / free throws to maximize production, So basically, if he can improve his efficiency down there, that's going to be vital because Detroit, if he works on his free throws and he's a banger down low, then basically the hack of Drummond strategy won't be able to work. And you're going to have a monster down there. It's going to be trouble, stopping him. He's just going to be eating you up for about 22 a game. You can't send him to the line because he's going to shoot about 70-something%. So the numbers wouldn't work in terms of trying to send him to the line on purpose. So Dwane Casey, he also stated that Blake Griffin is going to be the leader of their team. He stated in an interview, he said, Blake had probably the most impressive organized workout regimen this summer that I've seen of any veteran player like him. He hired statisticians to come in and keep stats of his shooting, his stretching regimen. He even brought in other workout players to stimulate 5 other players, so he had the whole gamut covered. That showed me, too, that he was organized, and hopefully other players saw that, and he led by example. That's something that Dwane Casey touched on about, he also touched on Drummond. He said that he's looking forward to a monster season from Blake Griffin, but also he's looking forward to that production increase from Drummond as well. But yeah, man, even Casey said it, just like I said before. Blake Griffin is probably the key to making this engine run because Drummond's a little young. Drummond's not ready. Drummond's not ready for that responsibility. All right. With Blake, we didn't get to see what he could really do because in LA, he was hamstrung playing with Chris Paul. There was no real clear leader on that team. It was a little tough. It was a little tough for the Clippers because look, let's just keep it a buck. All right. You need a leader. You need somebody who's in charge, who everybody's gonna understand. We follow behind him. All right, we go as he goes, right? And, we haven't seen him be the sole leader of the team with that shit show that he was in with the Clippers. But, the Pistons, they also recently hired an analytics guru that was working for Golden State. Dude's name is Sammy Gelfand, I believe. Basically, he's responsible for the Pistons. Their new philosophy this season, they're going to be shooting more threes. They recently asked Casey, the head coach, how many threes they're going to shoot, but, he's not releasing that number. He'd be retarded to release that number. If he did, you might as well just shoot him. He's useless. Loose lips sink ships, man. But, he also said that Reggie Jackson is going to be making some changes, or he's going to have to make some changes, or there are going to be some changes. All right, so that may mean that he gets traded before the deadline, if he can't get it right. Because Dwane Casey, he wants his point guard to make split-second decisions and, not hold the ball. He wants Reggie to move the ball, get it back, move it again, make quick decisions. And he said that he wants the team to make quick decisions as a whole. So Reggie, he likes to dribble a lot. Let's keep it a buck. Reggie's a nice point guard, but he likes to dribble the ball a lot. So this is going to be interesting. He also claims that the Pistons, there's no questions they are definitely going to be switching on D. He believes that Andre and Blake can both do that, and he spoke about the high ceiling of the team. Talking about the ceiling is the roof, giving credit to the talents of Blake Griffin, Drummond, Stanley Johnson, and Reggie Jackson. So, he said that there's no guaranteed starter spot for the wings. Everybody's going to have to prove it. So we'll see with the Pistons. We'll see. They're interesting. They're going to be getting their starting point guard back. They have a monster two-tower system down low. Me personally, I see their ceiling as a second-round exit. That's if everything went well. That's if they buy into Dwane Casey. I personally think that his firing from the Raptors, while it was necessary from the Raptors to, show they're not fucking around, that was mainly because of DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry are two of the mentally weakest stars that you could have leading your team. And it's just the facts of it. They're good players. They're really good players. But they're both not capable of leading a squad to a championship. And it's just the case of it. I mean, you need talented players as a coach, period. And Blake Griffin is probably the talent that, Dwane Casey might have been missing this whole time. All right, so we'll see. I have their ceiling as a second-round exit. Their floor is missing the playoffs. I definitely think Dwane Casey is probably the coach to be able to snap this team into playoff shape. He did it with the Raptors. Got them to almost a 60-win season this year. And he's probably gonna have great success. And if he doesn't, we'll see it. They'll miss the playoffs, but we'll see what's going on with the Pistons. All right.